Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today we're going to be talking about retail price versus selling price. So if you have a great product that's perfect for retail chains and you're trying to figure out retail price versus selling price, this training will give you some things to think about and what you need to know. With that said, let's get started on today's training. So let's talk about pricing for retail. And more specifically, people always ask me, how can I set the right price for my product in a retail chain? It's a common question that comes up a lot, and I just want to clarify what I think about when I come up with the pricing for a product. And so hopefully this helps you. This is Karen Waksman, Retail MBA, and we just create these training videos to help you excel. So pricing scares people with retailers. The first step I would take is literally get in your car, start driving around, go to stores that you want to sell to and figure out what it is that your competitors are pricing their products at. So you have to look at what the market will bear. And sometimes there's products that are expensive and there's some products that are cheap. And sometimes you'll be confused because you're going to look at products similar to yours and maybe there's not exactly the same things as your product. Maybe they have much cheaper quality or whatever, and you need to charge more because your material's more and so forth. I'm here to tell you that generally buyers are getting killed all over the place with pricing products. I see it all the time with our done-for-you services. People will bring me their products and I'll review it and we'll know, listen, you're going to probably get yelled at about your pricing. And unless I come up with a really good story, she's basically going to tell you to get out of here. And so you have to come up with what you're going to do in that scenario, and do you have another possibility? So what that means is you got to walk stores, you got to look at your competitors. If there's a really cheap version of your product, generally you can't go too much more if all the products there are going to be about that price range. So if you're going to the store, you're going to the section of the store where your product would fit, they're all at $9.95 or whatever the price is, you're going to have to honor that price range, maybe a little bit more, but nothing too outlandish. Now, every once in a while, there's exceptions to the rule. But 80% of the time, I would say you don't want to go too much higher than what they're doing in stores today. Except for I had one client who had a product called the Diva Cup, and she was very interested in selling a product that she was selling for like 10 to 20 times what the industry was selling a similar product to her. Essentially, she was selling some version of menstruation product, and tampons cost $5. This particular product was, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks, something like that at the time. Outlandishly different, but it was unique, it was innovative, and she had proof that it was selling online. To our surprise, they agreed to her price point and that product took off, and it's in all the major retail chains. But you never know. So when I tell you about pricing, you can't just hold it and say, I'm not going to go after stores because I'm too nervous about it. But you have to take the emotions out of it. And in her case, she already knew and she went for it anyways. She got one buyer to say yes to her. She got some rejections. She finally found somebody to give her a shot. It did really well, and then the rest is history. That's a very rare exception to the rule, but it does happen. So don't ignore retail chains just because of your situation, but in her case, it was completely innovative and fascinating. And the reason why you would get the Diva Cup over her tampon situation was because tampons, you got to keep buying them every month. This thing lasts a long time, right? So people thought, okay, it's a one-time purchase and then it lasts a long time. So it worked really well for her. Most of the time, though, they're going to look for a product somewhat similar in price point. So your only option, if your pricing is way higher than everybody else's, is to find retailers that can afford your product or find a way to change the product to make it cheaper. Those are some things to consider in regards to pricing. There's more to say, but that's a good start. Find out what the market will bear. Try not to be completely outlandish from that. And then from there, you have to reach out to retailers. And the other thing you can do is give the buyer price breaks based on volume purchases. So that's the other thing you can do, just throwing that in, meaning that you can tell the buyer, if you buy 5,000 units, I can get the price down here. If you buy 10,000 units, and that way you can satisfy your manufacturer and work a better deal, and you have that information ready. So if you want to learn how to price the product exactly, you should check out our Retail MBA program, which is listed on retailmba.com. We are a retail consultancy, but we also help people get into stores with our done-for-you services. If you want to learn more, please take a look at the links below. Otherwise, we look forward to keeping in touch with you. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. I hope this helped. Thanks so much.